Welcome to the second part of Business Africa. How far will the trade war between the United States and China go? Figures published this month by the International Air Transport Association on world freight market data show a contraction in demand this year compared to 2018, a contraction that has not affected Africa and China, however. African carriers recorded the strongest growth among all regions in August 2019, with an 8% increase in demand compared to the same period last year. The details of Naya Gomogomo and Nyasham Tizwa.
Bad news for global air freight, which is continuing on a downward turn. The International Air Transport Association, IATA, released data for global air freight markets showing that demand, measured in freight ton kilometers, contracted 3.9% in August 2019. This is compared to the same period in 2018. This marks the 10th consecutive month of year-on-year decline in freight volumes. According to Alexandra Doyunyak, the association's executive director, one of the root causes is the escalation of the trade dispute between the United States and China, exacerbated by the latest tariff increases in the trade dispute between the two countries. But while demand nosedived globally, African carriers posted the fastest growth of any region in July 2019, with an increase in demand of 8% compared to the same period a year earlier. Freight capacity also increased by 17.1% year-on-year, giving Africa better performance on the 6th consecutive month. Strong trade and investment linkages with Asia have underpinned a 12% increase in air freight volumes between the two regions over the past year.
It is gas that will change the future of my country, said outgoing Mozambique President Filipe Nyusi just a few hours before the general election on 15th October. It is clear from this statement that the country is now focusing on its vast project to transform and export liquefied natural gas, estimated at 5,000 billion cubic meters. This treasure, which today attracts large international companies, will provide 5,000 direct jobs and up to 45,000 indirect jobs. Bryce Keu and Ronald Kato with more.
Beneath these idyllic Indian Ocean waters off the Mozambican coast lie a resource that the Southern African nation is banking on to deliver growth and jobs. In 2010, Mozambique struck gas reserves estimated at 5,000 billion cubic meters in the surrounding Rovuma Basin, the biggest natural gas find in recent decades. Experts have predicted that the country, whose GDP is just $15 billion, could become the world's third largest exporter of liquefied natural gas, making some $3 billion a year. Since the find, energy companies have been lining up to develop the reserves. Last week, Maputo signed off on an initial investment decision with a consortium led by ExxonMobil for a $33 billion liquefied natural gas project in the country's Rovuma Basin, the biggest ever in Africa. In June, U.S. energy firm Anadarko announced a $25 billion investment in another gas project known as Dolphin Tuna. But violence, blamed on Islamist militants in the northern Cabo Delgado province, has kept some investors jittery, hoping for a fast resolution to the conflict. Production timetables too have been changing. The country now expects its first shipment of gas to come in 2023.
Well, this is where this issue of Business Africa ends. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our pages at Africanews and at Africanews FR for French. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye. À très vite.